special needs child strip searched as well. Family has filed a $2 million lawsuit. Let me take you to the video. Here it is.
It was still so traumatic to him that he just struggles.
Cheyenne Johnson of Mount Pleasant, Michigan says her 12-year-old special needs son is still reeling after being falsely accused of bringing a gun to school and strip searched by school officials without consent on more than one occasion.
He does not have access to a firearm.
This incident, alongside other related incidents, are the subject of a $2 million lawsuit filed against the Mount Pleasant School District, accusing them of violating 12-year-old Xavier's civil and constitutional rights. Johnson says her son has often been the victim of racial bullying in his predominantly white school. And after the gun accusation and strip search allegation on November 21st of last year, Johnson says her son was also sent to in-school suspension without proof he had done anything wrong.
But I never got any suspension papers, no evidence of anything for any accusation that they made against him.
This is so sad. I have significant background and the leadership who has protected this insanity at that school. A parents group, by the way, has now called for the termination of the superintendent of Mount Pleasant Public Schools, not only because of this, but other issues. One we actually covered on Indisputable, right here. And that superintendent was at the leadership helm. Again, the National Parents Union says Superintendent Jennifer Veliger has failed to act. All right, here's a quote. It was so traumatic for him, he still struggles. That's what the mother said. Cheyenne Johnson is her name, the mother of a special needs 12-year-old. She says was strip searched at the school without her consent. Johnson says her son was accused of bringing a gun to school, something she denies, adding he does not have access to a firearm. There's more. The gun accusations prompted school officials to strip search the 12-year-old on more than one occasion, and are the subject, alongside other related incidents, of a $2 million lawsuit filed against Mount Pleasant School District in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, about 70 miles north of Lansing. The lawsuit indicates Johnson's son has often been a victim of racial harassment and bullying in his predominantly white middle school. A couple of students jumped the child, his name is Xavier, in the bathroom, physically put their hands on him and called him racial slurs, Johnson recounted. Johnson says because Mount Pleasant school officials failed to clear up unfounded rumors that her son brought a gun to school. Like they know he didn't, but they refused to clean it up for him. She could not enroll him in another school, resulting in her moving out of the school district. She hopes her lawsuit against the school, which asks for $2 million in damages and accuses the school of violating Xavier's civil rights and constitutional rights, helps bring some accountability from the school district. Madam, you're doing the right thing here. I'm so sorry that your son and you have to go through this. You are doing the right thing. You got him out of that school system. You realize how damaging it was. And because they refused to give you an exoneration on record, because they refused to say, we are sorry. And you know why? You know why? Because they realized exactly what's coming, a lawsuit. You got to take that one on the chin, school system. It's your fault. This happened numerous times. Should have been sued for every time it happened. But let's be real. Madam, they're not advocates for your child. They're not. And when this happened the first time, he should have been out of there. So now the mother receives a real issue. I can't even put my child in another school because they refuse to tell the truth about the fact he never brought a gun on campus. See, that's another policy remedy. There could actually be a policy, a law in that state that says, schools don't get to have that kind of power over a child that's innocent. Will there be one? No. Will Republicans call for one? No. The Democrats call for one? No, they won't. Superintendent, let's put her up. All right, her name, Jennifer Veliger. Buck stops with her. She has been the person at the center of multiple racial discrimination, high profile cases in that school district. As I said, we've covered another one previously right here. Atlanta Black Star contacted the Mount Pleasant Public School superintendent on the allegations listed in the lawsuit, which claims the district violated one of its former students' civil rights and constitutional rights and violated his IEP. But after several phone calls and messages, Atlanta Black Star's request for comment or interview were not returned. Wow, what a surprise. She did not return message, emails, phone calls from Black press. All right, Sharon, thoughts here.
It would have taken her about 10 seconds to return an email. All she had to say was, my job is to break Black children. That's what my job is. I'm here to do that bidding. That's all she had to say, because that's the truth here. And you're right about the right, the left, not here to protect these children.
Yeah, I'm hoping that a politician in that jurisdiction will get this segment. And please, if you know of the elected leadership in that jurisdiction, send this to them. Because there may be a champion amongst you, all right?